What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is John. Today I have for you a big box good. That's right, today we're going to be taking a look at the Ion temperature controlled mug with charging coaster I picked up at Walmart for $39.98. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing and a first impressions. We're going to see what comes in the box. We're going to see the quality of the item. And then last but not least, we will test it out with coffee or tea. This coffee mug is good for water. It's good for milk as well, so you can use it that way. I am someone who likes to wake up in the morning and have roughly a half a cup of coffee, but my coffee machine only allows me to make 1 cup. I think 1 cup is a little bit too much for me, so what I like to do is I like to have it in the morning and then finish it in the afternoon. Having this mug being temperature controlled, one that I can sit down on the coaster and keep my drink warm until noontime, is extremely advantageous, and I think also cost saving too, due to the fact I can take 1 cup of coffee and divide it up into 2 parts of the day. So really happy to be doing this unboxing and first impressions here. I think this will come in handy. I think a warm cup of coffee in the morning is necessary for most of us to get our day started. And if your coffee just so happens to get cool, maybe if you go and take a shower, or maybe you go and do some laundry or do some dishes in the morning while you're drinking your coffee before work, and you set your coffee cup down, it will get cool and room temperature and pretty much unenjoyable. So let's go ahead and get into this unboxing and first impressions and see how well it works. Okay, so now that we've done a formal introduction of the Ion mug, let's talk about what you can tell from the outside of the box so you know what to expect when we do the actual unboxing. As you can see, it is a black mug. You do have the option between a white and a teal colored mug. All are $39.98 at Walmart. As you can see, I opted for the black mug. You can tell some of the specifications on the side. It can keep your drink warm for up to 24 hours. On the front of the box, it says you can heat your liquids up to 135, 140, or 145 degrees respectively. You get a really nice look at the item at the front of the box. Here is a really nice glossy black mug with a LED indicator screen on the front letting you know the temperature. And then last but not least, on the side of the box, you can see just what types of drinks you can keep warm. It does go over the very basics: water, milk, coffee, tea, but also talks about how you can keep a macchiato warm or even hot chocolate. Really, you could keep any liquid warm. I don't think it matters if it's coffee or tea or hot chocolate. If you wanted to put soda pop in here, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to keep that warm as well. So now that we've seen pretty much everything you get with this coffee mug, it's pretty straightforward. It's just a temperature controlled mug. You will have to plug it into a wall outlet, so it will need to be in a stationary place, like at your computer desk or maybe at your side table in your living room or in your bedroom. Let's go ahead and get into this unboxing and see what comes in the box. Okay, so now that we know what to expect going into the unboxing and first impressions, we know that it's a self-charging heating mug. You get the mug in the box, you get the charging coaster in the box, you get a user manual, and you get a wall plug, all of which are things you will need to get this up and running for the first time. But a couple of little interesting things we get in the box are this lid here, and last but not least, a warning label. Now this warning label is important because it does ask you to recycle, because there are lithium ion battery components inside the mug, and also to just be careful, again, that this is lithium ion battery powered, and that you should probably refrain from washing the coaster, for example. And I think just overall being careful about using this around liquid, because after all, it does require electricity to operate. So something to keep in mind. Now, before we actually turn the mug on and plug it into the wall and heat up our tea or coffee, whichever I decide to drink, I just want to go over some of the features of this cup now that I've looked at the user manual. As you can see, there is a power button on the bottom of the mug, which you pretty much press to turn on. In the user manual, it talks about how to turn this on and off and how to set the temperature, all of which is done by the power button underneath the cup itself. But one little thing I actually am concerned about, that I am concerned for you about, is will this be hot at the bottom? So let's go ahead and do just that and try out maybe some tea or coffee to see how well it keeps warm. Okay, so before we do our taste test, I just quickly want to remind you this is a lithium-ion powered mug. You can keep your drink warm for up to 2 to 3 hours off the charging coaster, but on the charging coaster you can keep your drink warm for up to 24 hours. So just keep in mind before doing an unboxing that if you want to use this mug right away, you may need to charge it. As you can see, if I take it off the charger here and try to turn it back on, I'm not getting any response. So it does need to charge before you can use it. Let's go ahead and test it out. Okay, so you know it's a lithium-ion powered coffee mug that you will need to charge. It does keep your drink warm for between 2 and 3 hours, depending on how much liquid you have in the cup, obviously. And last but not least, you can set the temperature between 135, 140, and 145 degrees for up to 24 hours on the coaster. Let's go over how this works. So you'll get it in the box. It's going to be off. You hold down the power button beneath the cup. So as you can see beneath the cup, you've got a power button in the center here, and then you've got a couple of stainless steel rings or metal rings at the bottom. It almost looks like the grate of a stove. That is where the heat transfers through to. If you actually click the button once, you can see that it sets the temperature to 135 degrees. Click the button again to get to 140 degrees, and click the button a third time to get to 145 degrees. And then to turn the mug off, you want to press the power button again so that you get a flashing beam of light on the display letting you know that no temperature is set. It's just a straight bar, really. What's actually really nice is when you have it off the coaster, that red LED indicator light does disappear and the only thing left is the temperature. So it should look pretty nice and modern and clean on your desk and shouldn't look too techy or obtrusive or obnoxious at all. Now that we've seen that, one little question and minor issue I have is how hot does the bottom of the mug get? Because like I was just stating, if you switch the temperatures between 135 and 145 degrees, the final mode is off after 145 degrees. So if you have this set to 145 degrees and you want to turn it off, will the bottom of the mug be hot? Or if you want to adjust the temperature of the mug while it's keeping your drink warm, is it hot to the touch? So we're gonna figure that out now. Let's go ahead and get this maybe set to 140 degrees. I can already feel the cup warming up. It is a plastic cup. I have reviewed an Ember mug before from Best Buy. That was a ceramic cup. I do prefer the ceramic over the plastic, but I think the plastic will be more drop resistant and potentially easier to clean. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. I think for $39.98, this is shaping up to be a pretty nice mug here. Okay, so now that you saw what came in the box, you can see the quality of the item, what you get and what you don't get. You can see the material that it's built out of. It's plastic and not ceramic. You can also see how easy it is to operate. It's as simple as plugging it into the wall, putting the coffee mug on top of the charging coaster and turning it on and setting the temperature. There's really nothing to it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no app to control it from. It's just as easy as turning it on from the mug itself. It does have a lithium-ion battery installed, so you can use it and keep your drink warm for up to 2 to 3 hours without needing to keep it on the charging coaster. Now, one thing that is amazing about being able to keep your liquid cool for 2 to 3 hours at the given temperature is that if you want to take this to go, you can absolutely do so. They did include a lid in the box, but what's actually a huge disappointment here is the lid does not work as intended whatsoever. As you can see, the lid does not suction cup to the mug itself. I press down on it and it pops right back up. You'll also notice there is some kind of turnstile on the top of the lid itself. That is merely to control the mouthpiece, to keep the mouthpiece open or closed. It has nothing to do with the suction of the lid, which is, again, a little bit of a disappointment that after using this for just roughly a few minutes, trying to get the lid on, I am unable to. So regardless of how useless the lid itself is, you still get a perfectly usable temperature controlled mug. So as you can see, it's on the charging coaster now. It is set to 145 degrees. You can tell the mug itself is charging at the same time because the red LED indicator light is blinking on the front. Touching the cup, it is warm, but my main concern is if you want to turn the mug off, how easy is it, or how safe is it really, to reach underneath and press the power button to either adjust the temperature or turn the mug off. Now, it has only been sitting here for roughly a few minutes. The mug itself is pretty warm. I think the coffee is staying warm. But one thing, the good news here is the bottom of the mug seems to be pretty cool. So if this is 145 degrees, I think you should still maintain some caution doing this, but I think it's safe to say that if you want to turn this mug on or off or adjust the temperature while it's on and you're using it to keep your drink warm, you can absolutely do so. I know that's a bit of a mouthful, but it's definitely an assumption I had that I needed to just clear with you so you don't burn yourself. Something I just want to clarify here, this is not to heat things up on, it's to maintain the heat of them. So this doesn't work as efficiently as a pot of boiling water on the stove, or even as efficiently as your coffee machine heating the water up. You simply are using this to keep the liquid warm and nothing more. So what's actually really nice about this plastic mug is it's very well insulated. You can actually see the thickness of the rim of the mug with the coffee inside. Like I said, it does heat up to about 145 degrees, and you can actually feel the warmth of the mug itself heating up. I did go over how hot the bottom of the mug is. It is not hot at all, just the sidewalls of the mug, so that's really good news. But the other good news here is you can see the thick insulation of the mug itself. It isn't ceramic, it's just plastic, but it does do a really nice job of keeping the temperature sort of off your hand and in the cup, right? So you can actually pick this up and enjoy it sort of at will or at random and not have to worry about the mug being on the coaster for too long and being too hot. I think if this is sitting for a few hours at 145 degrees, it will be perfectly safe to walk up and grab your mug and have your coffee. Now, I know I'm nitpicking here, but as you can tell, the LED indicator is actually on the front of the mug, but that is only if you are a right-handed coffee drinker. If you are a left-handed coffee drinker, I think you'll find that the LED indicator screen and light is actually on the wrong side of the mug. So as a right-handed drinker with the temperature on the front, I always have the temperature right in my face when I'm about to take a sip. But as a left-handed drinker, you would technically be looking at the back of the mug where there isn't an LED indicator light or screen. So now that I've actually been enjoying coffee for a few minutes here, you can see that I've been slowly sipping. One thing I really like about this coffee coaster is how tactful it is. As you can see, I'm trying to move the coaster around and it will not budge, and that's because it actually has rubber feet at the bottom. As you can see, what's really nice is this charging puck sits off the table, maybe a half an inch or so, but like I said, it just does not move. I could probably actually move this table just by gripping the charging puck alone or the charging coaster alone. I think that's a really premium feature and should actually reduce the amount of times you knock your coffee mug over or accidentally slide your coffee mug over. As you can see, if you set it down perfectly, you get the red LED indicator light on the front and you get the temperature. This is implying it's charging and it's heating, right? But if we actually remove the mug, you can see that the temperature remains and the LED indicator light disappears. this is implying the mug is on battery power or lithium ion battery power. But last but not least, if you set the mug down just slightly off kilter, you can see that the temperature remains, but that the LED indicator light is still off, indicating we have not placed it on the charging coaster correctly. So it does take a little bit of finagling to get the temperature and the LED indicator light to display at the exact same time. Just be aware of this, that your coffee doesn't get cold if you set it down the wrong way, and always give it at least 2 seconds for the temperature and the LED indicator light to appear so that you know the mug is charging and that it is maintaining a temperature of 145 degrees. And last but not least, to finish this video off, I quickly want to re-emphasize and highlight some of the safeguards from the user manual. Some of them I discussed at the beginning of the video, but others I didn't mention at all. They were things about the mug I wasn't aware, like the fact you cannot place this in a microwave. Like I was saying at the beginning of the video, it has stainless steel grates at the bottom that it uses to heat, similar to a stovetop. That in turn will damage your microwave, so be cognizant of that. In addition to that, do not heat the mug up without liquid in it. It can burn and crack and you can break it or injure yourself. And last but not least, do not touch the bottom or the inside of the mug. Now I was saying how because the power button is at the bottom of the mug and the temperature control switch, will it be safe to turn the mug off or adjust the temperature if it's hot? They strongly recommend not doing so in the user manual. I think it will be okay. I think the outside of the mug is cool enough to touch, and as you can see, I'm actually physically touching the bottom of the mug here, and it has been at 145 degrees, and it is completely safe to touch. It does feel a little bit warmer than previously, but not by much. But last but not least, what I failed to mention was the inside of the cup gets warm as well. So just be sure to not touch the inside of the mug. You could burn yourself. Anyways, guys, that has been an unboxing and first impressions of the Ion mug with charging coaster. I picked up at Walmart for $39.98. Because I picked it up at Walmart, that does make it a big box good. You can also find this in several other colors, white and teal amongst others. Today we did an unboxing and first impressions. I really hope this review gave you some valuable information before you buy it. As you can see, it is a plastic mug. Some other temperature controlled mugs are ceramic. I think this is an advantage because it's less breakable or it doesn't shatter when you drop it. Really nice feature. Another nice feature that I haven't seen on other temperature controlled mugs is the fact this can stay charged for 2 to 3 hours or up to 24 hours on the coaster itself. So you can keep your liquid in here warm for a relatively long period of time. What I really like is if you actually want to take it with you, they do come with a lid, which I am a little bit complainative about because as you can see, it does pop off the top of the mug, as you can see there, which is a little bit disappointing, but the fact that you can keep your drink warm for 2 to 3 hours and take it with you is a phenomenal idea. And we also talked about some of the precautions to use drinking your coffee. First and foremost, do not put this mug into the microwave because it does have metal pieces at the bottom it heats up with. And last but not least, just be sure to let the cup cool off before cleaning it because the inside of the cup is pretty hot. So all important things to reemphasize and go over before closing out this video. Otherwise, for $39.98, I think this is competitively priced. I think it's nicely designed. I think it looks great. The only issue I have is that the lid does not stay on top of the mug, but otherwise it comes with great features like the 2 to 3 hour charge time to keep your temperature warm, or the ability to set it down for 24 hours and keep it warm. Without further ado, I think this is a really nice temperature controlled mug. It's affordable and it's pretty decent quality as well. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and close out this unboxing and first impressions. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Hit that like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and also hit that bell notification so you get notified when I post to YouTube. And last but not least, be sure to share this video with friends and family and tell them we review things from Walmart and Target and Dick's Sporting Goods, as well as online stores. Without further ado, my name is John. I really hope you enjoyed this unboxing and first impressions. Thank you so much again for tuning in. I will see you in the next one.